Hi, this is a recording on how to add an event to the Arts Council of Anne Arundel County's Community Arts Calendar. You'll first want to go to acaac.org. Once you've landed on the home page, you'll go over to the Community tab and click Events. Once here, the calendar of events will pull up. On desktop, it will automatically show the monthly view, and on mobile devices, it will show the list view, but you can change this on your preference. You also have an option for day. You can also search for events, as well as filter by category. So if you want to add your event to the calendar, you'll want to go over to the right and click on the Add Your Event button. Once you click that, it will pull up the Add a New Event form. I've gone ahead and pre-populated some of these fields, so not to make this video too long. So you'll first want to enter your event title, and then you'll enter your event description. Now this doesn't have to be too long. It can just be some simple details, simple description on what your event is about. You'll then scroll down and start getting into more of the event details. You'll first start with the time and date. You can put the start date, and if your event is over multiple days, you'll put the end date as well. The time, if you don't have an end time, you can just put the start time, and it will show 5:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. here on the form, but on the calendar it will display as October 26th at 5:30 p.m. And then if you have your end time, just go ahead and add that, and it will display as October 26th, 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you have an event series, you can add multiple dates and times as necessary. There are several options to do so, depending on when your event series is taking place. When you click on one of them, you'll be able to have more options to fill out. And if this does look a little confusing, it does display a little sentence down here on what you're filling out here. So if I was to put 3 days, down here it will show up as an event every 3 days that begins at 5:30 p.m., repeating until October 26th. So you can add more events and dates and times as you need. If you didn't mean to click on that, just hit delete. The add exclusion, so say you have a monthly event and 1 month you're not having it for some reason, that is when you can add that exclusion here. Then you come down to the event image. There are parameters here. You want to make sure that your image is under 2 megabytes. I will generally keep images around 1200 pixels, and that should keep you under 2 megabytes. So you'll go ahead and choose your image, and if it's the correct size, it should upload. Then you'll go over to your event categories. Right now we only have 4. If you don't feel like your event falls under any of these categories, that's okay. You don't have to add this. If you think that there is a category that we should have on here, please feel free to reach out to us at info@acaac.org. We're happy to add things that maybe we might not have thought of. I think that the Annie Awards falls under performance, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. Then you get down to the venue details and the organizer details. If these are both the same, you don't have to fill out both of them. And when you click into this, you're going to see a pre-populated list of venues already that may have already added their event to the calendar. When you add your venue, it does automatically get added to this list, so just check here to make sure you're not already on here, because as you can see, it does start to create duplicates. And you can just simply search here. This event is at Maryland Hall, and it looks like they're already on there, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. And the same thing with the organizer details. Just check the list, make sure you're not already on here. Just type it in, and if you see it, then click on it and it will be added. If you don't see yourself on here, when you start to type, it will say no search results. You'll just hit enter and then you'll be added, and it will drop down more fields to add some simple details like phone number, website, and email. For the venue, it will ask you to add the address. If your event is a partnership, it's multiple organizations that have organized the event, you can add all the organizations as necessary. Then you get to event website, and that's where you're going to add the link to more details or where someone should purchase tickets. That's where this is going to go. Then you have your event cost. If you don't want to add your cost, that's perfectly fine. You will just leave that blank and it will hide the field. If your event is free, you can just put 0 and it will pop up as free. And if you have a cost, you'll go ahead and add whatever the cost is. Lastly, you're going to just agree to the terms of submission. This is basically just if you add your event to the calendar, when we get closer to your event, we will feature it in our weekly e-blast that goes out every Friday. And this is just agreeing that we're going to take that information you submitted and add it to our e-blast. So you go ahead and check that, and then you hit submit event. Then you'll be taken to a confirmation page that says event submitted. And if you have another event to submit, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you're all done. One thing to note here is if you go back to the calendar, you are not going to see your event uploaded right away. We do have an approval process that it has to go through. It shouldn't take too long. On the weekend, if you submit an event on a Saturday, it's probably not going to be approved until Monday. But it shouldn't take too long after you submit. But just know that if you submit your event and you don't see it right away, you didn't do anything wrong. It just has to go through that approval process. And that's it. If you have any more questions, if you think there's something that should be added to the form that isn't there, please feel free to reach out to us at info@acaac.org. Thank you so much.